Welcome to Cadet Mr. Hew, your favorite math channel. In today's video, we'll be finding the hypotenuse for two right triangles. And in questions 3 and 4, we will be finding the sides of the triangle which are shown on the screen. So we'll be starting with question 1. Now, again, we're required to find the hypotenuse in the given triangle in question 1. We're given the length of the two sides and it's a right triangle. How we know it's a right triangle? Because we have this right angle symbol. This red right angle symbol indicates it's a right triangle. So we'll be using the Pythagorean theorem to solve the unknown side, and in question 1 is the hypotenuse. Now the Pythagorean theorem, this is a formula for it. So it's a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. Now the question is, which one of these sides are a, b, and c? Well, c is the longest side, which is the hypotenuse, right? And the hypotenuse is opposite to the right angle here, okay? So this would be C. We need to identify the A and B and the C on the triangle. Now the C will always be the longest side, always, which is the hypotenuse. It doesn't matter now which side you call A or B, right? So I'm just going to call this one A, and we use common letters to denote the sides A, and we're going to denote the side B. All right? Now, what we're going to do now, we're going to rewrite the formula, right? So this is for the entire video. We'll be using the formula. We are working out the steps as our solution. So what we're going to do, we're going to write a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. Okay, so we're just rewriting the formula, right? All right, what we're gonna do, we're gonna plug in the values. So A is what? 8, and put back the plus sign. B is 6. Now we need to put on the square root, right? So it's not the square root, the square. You need to put on the square there, right? And this is equal to C squared. All right, good. So that's the next step now. 8 squared is 8 times 8 is 64. So if you put on a calculator and you press 8 times 8, you get 64. Plus 6 squared is 6 times 6 is 36. Good. And this is equal to c squared, which is the unknown, right? Good. Now, what we'll do, we'll put 64 and 36 in the calculator, or if you can add it in your head and you'll get 100. Write down the equal sign. I will try to make the equal sign be in the same column, right? But okay, and this will be c squared. That's just for new neatness and presentation, right? Now I want to isolate the c, or make what we can do. We can write 100. This is just an extra step I'm putting in, right? You could have done it in the same line. Is equal to, need to write about the c squared. C squared. So to get rid of this square, I have to do the square root. So I'm gonna go square root, right? And that is how you would isolate c. Okay? Now, whatever we do on the right-hand side of the equation, we have to do on the left-hand side of the equation. So we have to do the square root of this value over here. All right? So we'll have C isolated by itself, and the square root of 100 is 10. And then just for readability, we can write C is equal to 10. Or what units was the question given in kilometers? So the answer is in kilometer. Small k, small m. All right? And then now you would write up here your answer, which is 10 kilometer. Small k, small m. Okay? All right. Now I'm going to circle, this as the answer. You would need to circle your answer, but just for the video, I'll circle it. All right, good. So we're finished with this one. Okay, this question one is finished. We're gonna go to question 2 now, right? And again, we're finding the length of the unknown side, right? And the longest side on a right triangle is called the hypotenuse. Okay, so we're given the two other sides. One is 7 meter and the other side is 5 meters, right? It's a right triangle, so we can use a Pythagorean theorem to find the unknown side, which is the hypotenuse. All right, so the first step is to write about the formula, okay? So we're going to write a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. All right, so that's the formula, right? Good. Now, what we're going to do now, the first thing we have to do, you have to make sure there's a right triangle. If it's not a right triangle, we cannot use this formula, okay? All right, so what we're going to do now, we're going to label the sides, right? So this side would be C, the longest side, the hypotenuse, and it doesn't matter which side you call A or B. So I'm just going to put B here, and I'm going to put A here. Hope you're following along. And if you want, you can work ahead, pause the video, work ahead, and come back and check your answer with my answer, okay? Or if you want to follow through, you can follow through. Okay, so all we're going to do now, we'll just like the first one, we're just going to plug in the values, right? So A is 5. So we have 5 squared plus B is what? 7. So we have 7 squared is equal to C squared. Okay? All right, good. Now, 5 squared is 5 times 5. So you can put it in the calculator if you know your times table, you know it's 25. So 25 plus 7 is what? 49, right? 7 times 7 is 49. This would be equal to C squared. Now remember, I tell you, try to make the equal signs, just for neatness, try to make them inline, right? Also the plus, but it doesn't matter. It's just presentation. All right, so what we're going to do then, we're going to add 25 plus 49, right? And you'll get what? You'll get 74. What did you get? 74? is equal to, this is square, right? C squared. Right? Good. Now, we're going to isolate the C, right? So to isolate it, what we're going to do, we're going to find the square root, right? So I'm going to find the square root here of that. And anything you do on one side of the equation, which is right, we'll have to do it on the same. So we have to find the square root for 74. Is that clear? Good. Now, what you'll get in for the next step is square root of 74 is equal to C. All right? No. 74 is not a perfect square. And what do we mean by that? So if we have, well, I'll draw a line here. So if we have 1, 4, 9, 16, right? How we got that? 1 squared is 1. 2 squared is 4, meaning 2 times 2 is 4. 3 squared is 9, because when you multiply 3 times 3, 3 threes is 9. And 4 squared is 16. 4 times 4 is 16, and also 25. So 5 5 is 25. So 74 is not a perfect square. So you're not going to get a whole number, okay? All right, so this is just good to know, right? This is not part of necessarily the calculation or today's class necessarily, or it's just additional information. This is just good info, right? Information. All right, good info to know as a base for math. All right, good. So because it's not 74 is not a perfect square, you're not gonna get a whole number. Okay. All right. In your answer, right? So we can write the square root of 74 as an approximate rounded decimal, right? All right. So what we're gonna do then, we're gonna use a calculator and use the square root to find what value you get for 74, the square root of 74. And what you'll get is this answer. So you can plug it in your calculator, type 74 on the calculator, and press the square root sign, and you're going to get a value like this. So you're going to get, what we're going to do, you're going to get 8 point, you're going to get 8.602, and it is going to continue. So I'm going to put some dots there to indicate that it continues, right? Meaning the square root of 74 is irrational. The decimal never stops and it does not repeat. So what we're going to do then, we're going to write it to the 1,000 place, which is what I did here. Yes. And then we're going to round it to the 100 place. All right. So when you round it, you're gonna get so the C I'm going to write it the other way. So C, remember this is what you got on the calculator, 8.602 and some other continuing decimals, but we're going to round it to the hundred place. So we wrote it down as a thousand place so that we can see whether we're going to round the zero up or let it remain, right? So C is equal, approximately equal to 8.60, right? And the information what is given in meters, so this is meters. All right. So the square root of 74 is approximately equal to 8.60 meter as the answer, right? So this is the answer here. All right, so we're going to write the answer up the top there, which is, so C is approximately equal to, so we're going to put the approximately equal to sign there, to 8.6 meters, small m. All right, so we have completed questions 1 and 2. We're going to move to questions 3 and 4 to calculate the side. All right, the sides for each triangle. All right, so we have come to the end of part 1 of the 2 videos covering the topic how to find the length of the hypotenuse. In the next video, we'll be finding the length of a side of the 2 right angle triangles that are given in questions 3 and 4. We look forward to seeing you in that video. Please take care until then. Thanks for watching the video, and don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, comment, and share.